afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stock Market Today. It's Alissa Coram here and Ed Carson, and we're going to get to the action in the broad markets. But first, Ed, break down the preview for us of the actionable stocks we're going to be discussing today.
Very little breakdown, but a number of breakouts.
Yeah.
Pan American Silver, Marvell, and Fortinet, all top stocks. They all cleared buy points today in a pretty strong market.
Yes, a strong market indeed. This is a look at the NASDAQ. We did falter there a little bit into the session, but stocks were able to regain their stride and close at session highs for the day. The NASDAQ up 1.4%, the Dow up 0.7%, and the S&P 500 up 0.8%. So strong gains today. This chart is slightly delayed here, so I'm not even sure if it ended up being an inside day today. Let me look at the high here of yesterday. At any rate, it might have been an inside day, but it looks like strong gains nonetheless.
Yeah, very strong, closing near highs, great response to yesterday's sell-off. And it would be perfectly fine if we pulled back for several weeks, but we just don't do that. If you look, the NASDAQ hasn't had 2 down days in a row since, I think, May 12th and 13th, and that was it. So it's just been nonstop. Every time it has any kind of knock, it just gets right back up and powers higher. Just a very strong market, and growth was leading. I mean, Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon, which all have market caps over 1.5 trillion, they're all up at least 2% today. It's really hard not to go higher when that's going on.
Yeah, and we are still seeing a number of actionable stocks out there. So let's take a look at a couple of those from today. Starting off with Pan American Silver, PAAS, gaining almost 8% today, Ed, in heavy volume, breaking out over that 30 level. And we were talking a little bit this morning on IBD Live how you normally might expect to see some of these gold and silver stocks reacting inversely to the market, but that's not the case.
Yeah, I mean, the dollar has been weakening. It's sort of an odd situation when the U.S. economy seems to be doing better. Normally, you'd see the dollar go higher, but that just makes people more confident about the global economy. It's this weird stuff going on, but the dollar's been weakening, so that's helping gold stocks. Pan American Silver clearing that 30.69 area. It's actually a little extended from that buy zone, because it's probably a little bit. I think the buy zone ended on 32.22, depending on where you want to do the buy point. Volume was very strong. The RS line was strong. We also had a couple others that broke out today. Kirkland Lake, SSR Mining, gold topped 1,800 for the first time since 2011, I think, and silver had an even bigger daily gain. So just really strong action.
Yeah, a very strong group indeed, and we were covering all of that this morning on IBD Live. Now let's take a look at Marvell over in the chip sector, looking super today, if I do say so myself, up over 6%, heavy volume there, clearing this 37 level in volume, its highest in a couple of months.
Yeah, very nice action. Again, the RS line at a new high. The consolidation is a couple of days short of a proper base, but it's fairly actionable here, especially there's not a whole lot of long bases nowadays because we've run up so much. Yeah. This actually was one of the early breakouts. It paused for a while, didn't really get going until May, but then it ran straight up. I mean, it's just been acting really well. The earnings have turned around. Obviously, some of it's easier comparisons, but if you look at, 2021 and 2022, the earnings estimates, those are really strong growth. And, in this kind of environment, any company that's having any kind of earnings growth is something to take note of. And this is, definitely one to watch here. Yeah,
definitely. And, some investors could have even looked at this upside reversal at that 21-day, if you're an aggressive trader or a swing trader has an opportunity to get in. But nonetheless, a nice breakout here today for Marvell. And last but not least, checking in on Fortinet, FTNT in the security software group with a nice gain today, over 6%, heavy turnover here as well, clearing an alternate entry at 144.60, since we always add that 10 cents there.
Yeah, just to be fun, I'm just going to also mention other buy points. There was sort of a downward sloping trend line you could do. Yeah. There's sort of a double bottom in there so I think like 146.63, somewhere in that area, right there. So like that middle of that weird W there, that could sort of be an entry.
Lots of ways to slice this one.
And then even the all-time high. So, it's starting to look like, a crazy crayon drawing at some point.
Yeah.
But it just, this is one that was sort of later, it sort of paused, wasn't necessarily great action when in that regard, but it's setting up, it's doing well here. Also strong volume again. We haven't seen a lot of strong volume breakouts except on unusual days like quadruple witching. So we're seeing a lot of, it's always nice to see that strong volume.
Yeah, very encouraging to see a nice sign of strength there, to add that to your list of check boxes for things that we like to see on the breakout. All right, everyone, that is it for today. Thanks so much for joining us. And if you are a member of Leaderboard, go log into the Leaderboard page at the or not Leaderboard, that was yesterday. Swing Trader is today's, and I'm wearing the right color. That should have clicked for me. Yesterday we had our Leaderboard scorecard monthly webinar. Today's is the Swing Trader scorecard monthly webinar. So if you are a Swing Trader member, go to that Swing Trader page, and at the top banner you will see a link to that webinar, and we are also recording it for you. But this is a great thing that we are doing every month, a really interactive webinar for you where you can submit questions, but primarily we are breaking down the past month's performance and answering common questions. So it's just a great thing to take advantage of. Isn't that right, Ed?
It is, absolutely, because you really see the kind of thing. It's like, it's one thing to say, oh, did great, but you really look and they show the winners and losers, and how it worked. And it's mostly been winners on Swing Traders. They've been doing a great job there this year.
Yeah, and really explaining the strategy and the mindset behind everything too, which is really great. All right, everyone, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow.